It is another edition of the QLZ Green Room. I am Mo Lightning, and as always, it's not just about what I would like to ask our guest, it's what you would like to ask our guests. So if you're watching and streaming us live, you can leave a comment, leave a reaction, and be a part of this conversation. Otherwise, I'm more than happy to eat up all of this gentleman's time. Maybe you know him from his drum work, formerly of Five Finger Death Punch. Maybe you know him from his new project, PsychoSexual. He goes by the name Devil Daddy. You're actually hearing the new tune, Devil from Hell, on QLZ. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Jeremy Spencer.
Hey.
It's weird seeing you without the makeup now, sir.
Well, if we were on tour, you would probably see me in makeup, but since we're not, it's a lot of work to get into it, so I'm not getting in it.
I can't even imagine. How much does that take? Like, how long does that take?
We have it down now to a little over an hour, but when I first was experimenting with it, the first time was like 6 hours, and I was like, I can't do this.
No, that's like Hollywood. That's Hollywood budget right there. You see all like the superheroes talk about how long they have to sit in the chair. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it wasn't very cool, but we figured out how to cut some corners, and I got it down to like an hour.
Nice. Well, let me start first and foremost with Devil Daddy. And I'm trying to figure out where the name came from. I have a couple guesses here. One, you are the father of Satan, or you have made Satan your bitch, like I'm your daddy, you know, Devil Daddy, or you're just a regular father who needs to go to church more. Which one is it?
I think it's a little of everything blended together. Yeah, that's just. I mean, what name do you call that guy?
Right.
That's what I came up with. I'm like, Devil Daddy, I'll go with that.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. I just like the idea, the thought process, and it's your alter ego. What's different about Devil Daddy than Jeremy Spencer?
He's basically an extension of me, just the crazier part of myself. He's like the ringleader of debauchery and mischief, the fun, everything that's fun. All things fantasy, no rules, no limits.
Okay.
He's the guy. Yeah.
Kind of like the hyped up version of you, the expanded version. You hear that in pro wrestling a lot, that they're just playing themselves, but an amplified version.
Yeah, but I can blame it on the character. See,
yes.
So it's perfect.
I was just about to say, that's awesome. So is this something like, have you even thought down the line where is Devil Daddy going to have the same look the whole time? Or are you going to kind of be like Tobias Forge and Ghost and switch it up every album?
I don't think I'll switch up like the face features. I certainly the outfits will be different, but I think I'll stick with the face features. It's pretty unique and identifiable, and besides, I don't want to have to keep thinking up stuff. So that's I think I'll go with that.
I get that. Cindy, thanks for watching. Super talented guy, and I think we would all agree with that right there. So tell us about PsychoSexual. If people are not aware of PsychoSexual's music, how would you describe it?
Well, so it's kind of like Rob Zombie and Typo Negative kind of had a baby.
Those are bad bands to list, though. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely metal elements, there's goth elements, there's poppier elements. It's kind of a mixture. It's all over the place, really. But like, I didn't write like 10 Devil from Hells, although I think it's the perfect introduction for people to hear the band. I think it's kind of like it gets everything started. It's a good stomper. You can lift weights to it, or you can drink beer to it, or whatever. But I think it's the perfect introduction.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to say people might listen to more of the music and then be surprised that there's the alter ego, Devil Daddy, in a group PsychoSexual, and it's not all metal music.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of want to make it whatever I want to make it at the time. Like, it's whatever I think of, because albums are snapshots in time. And I don't want it to be the same thing. I want to be able to change it up, and it can go wherever it needs to go or wants to go, because it's all fantasy anyway, and it's just fun. So I just want to bring some fun back to rock and roll and theater, and make it a little more dangerous again. It just seems so there's so much of the same thing that's happening to me. Nothing's really poking out that's being unique anymore. And I think something needs to happen. So
it is run of the mill. A lot of concerts. I love concerts. I'm sure you do as well. That live experience with the people and the surroundings. But there is something to be said for the stage shows. Like Rob Zombie quickly became one of my favorite artists growing up because the theatrics, the 12-foot monsters and robots on the stage. How could you not love that?
exactly. I mean, it's about the whole spectacle and people leaving the show going, man, you have to go check that out. That was crazy, man. You can watch people up there in their normal black jeans and t-shirts and do this syncopated headbanging stuff,
right?
Which we've seen a million times, and that works for some people. But to me, I just want something that's stimulating to me visually and just overall a fun experience where you go, wow, man, you got to see that. That was crazy.
I mean, you know how it is. A good concert can make you a fan or a bigger fan, but a bad concert can also ruin it for you. Who impressed you growing up when you started going to concerts? And was there a band that you were disappointed by?
Well, Kiss was everything to me. I started with Kiss. I don't know that I was disappointed by any bands. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't think I've really been disappointed by bands that I've seen live. The only reason why is maybe because the sound wasn't good in a venue.
Yeah, right.
And that bums the vibe. But like, they always perform good. All the bands I went to see are bands that I thought kicked ass, and I want so they probably were kicking ass. It's just it didn't sound good to the PA.
Yeah. I have seen Queens of the Stone Age 3 times, and each time the sound has been horrible. And I love those guys. I love the band, but I just have no luck finding a good venue for them.
That's a drag. Yeah, sometimes you're at the mercy of the PA, and that's happened for all of us with our bands too. You think, man, we really rock tonight, and then people are like, that sounded like crap. Sorry.
yeah, not fully my fault. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we're playing in a place where it's like a tin roof, so it's not going to sound amazing,
Yeah, but you work your way, and you're definitely going to put on a presentation. We talking pyro, we talking laser lights, we talking like airplanes crashing. What are we talking here?
Well, we're going to do, first and foremost, it just depends on what tour we're on, how much stage space we have, how much time, what the budget is. There's lots of factors. Pyro's expensive, so hopefully we get there one day. But we'll try to do as much as we can with whatever we're allowed to do and make a great show for people, because it's important, man. And people want to have fun. And especially now, after being cooped up, they want to see something, man. It's time.
And if you're creative enough, lighting can go a long way too. Korn, they know how to use work the lighting there. Nine Inch Nails does amazing with lighting. Rob Zombie, of course. So I get that. But with that said, how has the pandemic treated you as an artist, as somebody who lives life on the road? How is it for you?
It's been amazing because we've been doing nothing but writing and recording. So it couldn't have come at a better time for me personally. And I know it's been a horrible thing for a lot of people, but I really used it to my advantage and got a lot of work done. And so I was thrilled to have the time, to be honest with you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then I've been trying to tell people, the listeners throughout the course of the pandemic, that is the silver lining of everything, is that we're going to have so much rock coming our way here this year and next year. It's a good time to be a rock fan, man.
Yeah, for sure. There's so much stuff that's backlogged and ready. It's been in the can for a while. Lots of people are like, we were going to release our record last October, but now we're waiting. So it's all coming.
And you actually did release some music, and then you wiped it from existence on the internet. Is that stuff that maybe one day we'll be able to enjoy again, or you going to retool it? What are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I think that I'll bring some of those songs back at some point down the road. I just thought that we did that real fast. That was the first thing we ever created, and I put it out with little to no promotion. And then we kept writing, and Devil from Hell happened. I'm like, oh man, I really wish this would have been the first thing that we put out, because it's the perfect introduction. And I'm like, it's so new, and we haven't even toured. Like, nobody knows anything about this band. Let's just start over. So we did. And, I always have those songs if I want to bring them back down the road in some form. But I think the best way to debut is Devil from Hell in this record.
I love it. I love it. And the other band members, Crucifier, Astaroth.
Yep.
And then Volok. Volek.
Yeah, they're
Me
all
and names do not go along very well together. So
they're all really cool demons, man. It fits their personality perfectly.
And so what is, because typically a lot of times the vocalist, the front person of the band, has a lot of creative control over the music. What is their input? What is their influence?
Well, I mean, they're really good players for starters, and they're willing to do, like, their attitude is just perfect because whatever crazy thing I come up with, they're all about it. It's all about support, and the vision is everyone has the same vision, which is cool, rather than one guy going, I don't know about that, man. Like everyone's going, yeah, let's do it. Let's dress up and walk into a convenience store and ask them if they sell upside down crosses. Like
that could also make a good reality TV series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you put us all together in costume, who knows what's going to happen, but it's going to be something to watch. I'll tell you that.
That is great. Like, what kind of could we ever maybe one day hypothetically see you and Guar and Ghost or Reunited Mudvayne like all on one tour together? How great would that be?
I would love that. If you make the connections happen, let's do it.
Well, I could probably get Guar to happen, but I don't know about the other ones. But
hey, man, I love Guar. They rule.
What are you listening to right now? Is there anybody that's got your ear?
Man, I've been revisiting Monster Magnet a lot lately.
Nice.
I love that band, and I just think he's supremely talented, man. Mm-hmm. Like what a mind, that guy. I love him.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because over the course of the pandemic, I rediscovered them as well, and I thought to myself, man, these guys do not get enough love.
I know. It's really, I mean, it's incredible. I listened to their records, and I'm like, what a heck of a lot of work they put into that, and it's. Like that Dope to Infinity record, I think, is a masterpiece, man. I love that album.
That's some absolute great stuff right there. I do want to ask about Lady Killer TV.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Which, for anybody not aware, you made like adult entertainment spoofs of horror movies. Like, how would you describe it?
It was kind of like that. I was classifying it as horror erotica, but it's so not porn. Like it was kind of, people thought, oh, he's making porn now, and it's really not true. It's like I used porn actresses because there were steamy scenes that you can't just get typical actresses to go, I'll do that.
Right.
But the porn girls are used to doing, more extreme stuff, but this is really tame. This is just like Friday the 13th, but with an extended makeout scene where when you were 13, you're like, I wish that would have been longer. I like watching that. So I just kind of did what I wanted to see when I was a kid, and, made the gore really gory, but it's all parody, and it's, I take classic horror scenes and horror movies and put a spin on it. I used the hottest adult stars I could find, and it was just a really fun experience. And that stuff's going to be coming out this year. I made 3 full-length feature films. So yeah, that's coming out this year, and I'll announce when that's happening. And I think people will really get a kick out of it. It's not porn, but it's not really necessarily an R-rated. I would say it's probably an NC-17.
Okay. Like late night Skinamax almost.
Maybe, yeah. It would fall into that category. Like you would see it at 10 p.m. on Showtime.
Okay. All right. Is one of the full lengths one the Sexorcist?
Yeah, and I noticed that somebody else had a title with that in it, but that's just one piece inside of the film.
Oh, okay.
So it's whatever. You can't copyright a title anyway. It doesn't
Gotcha.
matter. But
okay.
I didn't go, oh, Sexorcist, I'm stealing that. I actually came up with what I thought was something original, but we'll see. I think everyone will like it, man. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I ask about that one specifically because I do a weekly podcast with WWE Hall of Famer Devon Dudley. Huh. And one thing that we have, I have noticed over time, is that he has a deathly fear of The Exorcist. He hates the movie, hates looking at anything from the movie. So, of course, that means I send him as much Exorcist stuff as possible, or parodies or spoofs. So maybe this will be finally the one that gets him willing to look at The Exorcist, because he's also a hornball, so he may love it.
Yeah, it stars Tory Black, so he'll probably like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome right there. Of course, you became an officer in Indiana as well. I mean, what's left on your bucket list here, man?
I'm not sure. I'm just kind of taking it as I go. I'm loving life, and not having to be wrapped up in such a full-time machine. That's it's different, and I appreciate it, and I'm grateful for my time having done all that. But it was definitely time for me to step away and to do some other things and to get myself well. Like I physically was pretty much spent by the end of that
Yeah,
band.
it's pretty well known that you were feeling pretty beat up doing all the drumming and whatnot for Five Finger. So actually, when I saw that you became an officer, I'm like, oh, that's got potential to beat him up too.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny because right after I got sworn in, I went in to get my back surgery. So then I've been down for a long time. It's more or less I'm kind of just doing charity stuff for the police department rather than getting out there and kicking in doors and serving people warrants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to help out as much as I can with charities and lend a hand any way I can. That way it's a little better for me physically. But
Sure.
I'll tell you what, man, going through the whole testing and all that stuff was a lot of fun. And I really worked hard at it. I spent some time really preparing for that. And it was a great, great thing.
And do your superior officers, do they know your Devil Daddy? Do they know about that side project?
They love it. Yeah, they love that and Lady Killer. They're all about it, man. They think it's cool. Yeah.
So you never quite know. I mean, especially officers and cops can get a bad rap, bad stereotype that, they're not cool people, but we know that's not the case. We know there are some really great ones out there. Most of them are great ones. But every once in a while, you never know. Somebody might be a little particular, like, ooh, we can't have the devil's music in this house.
Well, I even warned them that I'm going to be doing some projects that may be pushing the envelope a little bit. And they're like, we don't care. That's awesome. So I'm like, cool. They were my friends. So
okay.
They kind of have known me and known that I'm crazy anyway. So it's perfect.
That makes sense. I was going to ask why Indiana, but now that makes sense there.
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Okay. Was it in Rockport?
It's Rockport, but I grew up about 20 minutes away from there.
Okay. All right. And how long did you live in Indiana?
Till I was 19. So the first 19 years. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You ever miss it?
Not really. I mean, it's I do miss the seasons changing. And I do have some buddies that I grew up with that I'm still in touch with. I miss them, but I don't think I'd like to live there full time anymore. I'm good. 19 years was a good run, and it's a lovely place to grow up. But I wanted to be able to go out and do the music thing and be in places where I could, achieve what I wanted to achieve
and see the world. I mean, you've probably toured all over. Where's your favorite spot to visit?
I like Switzerland a lot. I think it's really nice.
Yes.
Australia is really cool. Japan was interesting.
Okay.
So, I mean, we went to Iraq a couple times. Like, I mean, we've been all over, man. So that's a blessing that I got to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Now, of course, once PsychoSexual makes it big and touring and the world opens back up again, where's somewhere you have to go that you haven't been?
Never went to China. I'd like to go there. We'll go any place that'll have us, to be honest with you.
Right,
we just want to play as many places as we can. So, but China is on my bucket list. I'd like to go there.
Understandably so. I know you're a busy man, so I'm going to let you go here in a moment. But before I let you go, if people want to reach out to you, they want to find PsychoSexual online, where are all the spots?
Well, you can go to PsychoSexualmusic.com, which is our website, and it has all of our social links there. So you can find us through there. Just go to PsychoSexualmusic.com. It's very simple.
Well, I appreciate your time today. I appreciate the music and everything. I appreciate the theatrics of it all. Keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully we'll see you in Springfield or surrounding areas sooner than later.
Yes, that'd be great, man. I really appreciate you having me on, too.
Not a problem. This has been another edition of the QLZ Green Room on demand momentarily at WQLZ.com.